Calling CKX, calling CKX. This is 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm calling for the station out tonight. Calling CKX, calling CKX. This is 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. How about that 3961? How about that 3961, Jacksonville, Florida? Do you got a copy of 362, Knoxville, Tennessee? Can you hear me out there, Winnie
Part
Cooper?
1.
This is Richie. We're calling tonight.
33. Yeah, this is 3961. Go ahead, this is Winnie Cooper in Jacksonville, Florida. We can hear you out there. 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. Hello, Richie. This is Winnie Cooper out here on the radio. I hear you loud and clear out here. You're making a good trip out here tonight, and this is 3961, Jacksonville, Florida. Cool. We line a career out there. Mr. Foxman, 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. We'll wave it on back to you out there, and you're sounding good tonight. 00146. Hello. Hi, Richie.
Hey, how about it, 3961, Jacksonville, Florida? How you been doing out there tonight? So we haven't talked for a very long time. Man, we haven't seen each other since 1992, but I think the last time we talked on the telephone was back in, I think it was 2013 or 2017. But before that, we talked in 1998 back in that time. So, hey, good evening to you out there, 3961. Winnie Cooper, yeah, you know. Hey, Winnie, how you been doing today? This is 362, Knoxville, Tennessee, from Richie. So it's been kind of hot up here in Tennessee for the last couple of months here. So I bet you're getting a lot of heat waves down in Florida today. But so far, you haven't had any hurricanes down here this year.
This is 3961. UH Win Cooper, Jacksonville, FL. Yeah, I haven't heard you for a long time out there. But yeah, so far, yeah, we haven't had any hurricanes this year in 2026. Yeah, it's been kind of raining down here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm traveling on the road right now, so I'm traveling around from on the radio right now. So yeah, you're coming in pretty good out there tonight, and just want to let you know, yes, it's been a very long time. We haven't talked to each other out there. And yeah, that was the last time we talked on the telephone way back in 2013, but I haven't heard you for a while. But yeah, I've been kind of busy for a while, but yes. But you're sounding great to an out there. 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. Know you, Foxman and Richie. Leave it on back to you out there. Sweetie, and how are you been doing out there tonight? Just want to leave it on back to you out there. This is 3961, Jacksonville, Florida. We're cruising out here on the roadways out here tonight, and I'm traveling to go to the mall tonight, and I'm going to be heading out there soon, but yeah, we'll talk on the radio for a while. Go ahead, 362, Knoxville, Tennessee's 3961, Jacksonville, Florida, QSL, 0 hours, 2 minutes, 56 seconds.
I'm telling you, 3961 down in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to wave it on back. I already had that Hurricane Michael a couple of years ago. So, yeah, you were lucky. I remember back then when I saw it on the radars back then, and mostly it missed about 40 miles offshore. The eye actually missed you. The last time it happened was in 1964 with Hurricane Dora. You've never seen the history about that video. Yeah, I've seen it a while back. You know that. You remember me. We talked a while back, a long time ago, because I went through Hurricane Angie. I told you all about that stuff. Knowing you, 3961. This is 362, Knoxville, Tennessee, from Richie. We talked about it lots of times, many times about it a while back.
Yeah, knowing you're 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. Knowing you, Richie. This is 3961. Winnie Cooper out of Jacksonville. Yeah.
But yeah, 3961.
I had the hurricane came around. I think it was like 2017 or 2018 when it happened. I think it was Hurricane Matthew out there. Yeah, it was actually off the coast about 40 miles east of Jacksonville. Yeah, and my area, my mom's house, we had a lot of flooding down there in the neighborhood for at least several days, and we lost power for 2 days and a half. That's what we had. There was a lot of flooding in the Jacksonville, Florida area, especially over in Riverside. And mostly out in the areas of the downtown area, we had a lot of flooding in that area. During the afternoon, I think the help crews came almost at least a day and a half to 2 days to bring the ice across the bridges over near the beaches, but I was out during that time. But yeah, they did destroy the Jacksonville Pier. I remember back then, but everything got rebuilt back then. Pretty good. I know you probably went through that worst hurricane of your lifetime. Hurricane Andrew. I know what you mean by their knowing, Richie. I know you talked about it a while back. Someone let you know? Yeah, we went through a lot of it. We lost power outages, but I was okay. But we had a lot of wind and rain that night with Hurricane Matthew, and I know some of the history about the 1964 Hurricane Dora, and I've seen it back in school in my history class. So, yes. So, how you been doing out there this evening tonight? Knowing you're 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961. Winnie Cooper out in Jacksonville, Florida. So I hope your family's doing okay out there. Just want to wave it on back to you. Out there, sweetie. This is 3961. Winnie Cooper out of Jacksonville, Florida. Will wave it all back to you. QSL.
Tennessee, yeah. And I talked to your twin sister about that, knowing you're 3961. Jacksonville, Florida, know you Winnie Cooper, yeah. I talked about it. And you know, like one of her boyfriends, one of her first boyfriends, you know who I'm talking about. We're not going to mention his name, but he went through Hurricane Andrew many years ago. I talked on the phone back in '98. You gave me the phone to her. But yeah, 3961, yeah. You never that we talked to that guy. You and your twin sister gave you know who, knowing you 3961 in Jacksonville,
Part
Florida.
2054.
And you gave the phone to him. And he told me he went through Hurricane Andrew. He was in Kendall, and I was in Homestead, Florida, where the eye actually hit. We talked for a couple of minutes back then. Either way, yeah, he knew exactly what I went through back then. So this was in 1998. We talked before many times. So I'm going to let you know 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. You know it's coming up this weekend because Hurricane Andrew is the same day I went through on the same date in 1992. It happens every 7 years, between 8 years of the same date of the timeline. The Monday morning thing, yes. And I'm just telling you, this is 362 Knoxville, Tennessee. How you been doing lately down there? We haven't talked for a very long time.
My twin sister's first boyfriend. Yeah, he was a cool guy out there. Yeah, and he was pretty awesome, but pretty cool. But, yeah, that's true. You went through Hurricane Andrew a long time ago. That was a terrible storm, and you told me stories about it back also back in 2012 and during that time. But, yeah, it's just been a terrible story. You went through a lot of times. Yes, and I've seen it on TV lots of times where I live, and I've never heard that storm quite well. And there was a lot of things, there were a lot of damage back then. Yeah, I know what you mean out there. Knowing you, Richie, knowing Mr. Foxman, because you've been through a lot hurricanes, and you went through school bullies back when you were growing up. Back in elementary school and middle school. You told me lots of times on the phone about it. And even you talked a while back, yes. Even the school you went to a long time ago, you were a bully too. Yeah, I know what you mean, sweetie. I was bullied a long time ago too in my school days. I know how you feel out there. But you're such a good person out there in this world knowing you. Richie 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961. Jacksonville, Florida, QSL 0. Hours 2 minutes 11 seconds.
961, yeah, you know where I used to live at. We talked on the phone back then. That farm I lived with my family a while back, from 1998 to 2009. And we went through the 4 hurricanes in the state of Florida back then. Yeah, I remember when it happened. But it wasn't too bad. We had to stay in a hurricane shelter the first time it happened for at least 3 days. Then another month happened. I think it was between the month of September. There was a hurricane every month. The second one that hit in the area was south of Gainesville. We had to went to my dad's CO place in downtown Lake City, Florida. You know that big building with the microwave tower, which is AT&T now. It used to be a Bell South. It was a big building. I stayed there for 4 days because we didn't know it was a major fire was going to hit. But it did a lot of flooding, but we didn't got a lot of damage. Just a lot of flooding back then.
Yeah, I remember that years ago knowing your 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, this is 3961. Jacksonville, Florida, Winnie Cooper. Yeah, I can hear you out there. Richie. Yeah, there were a lot of flooding back then. Yeah, I'm never that. Years ago, I saw on my local news channel in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, I watched it on that stuff too. Yeah, before hurricanes hit the city of Florida out with dumping a crazy year for sure. Yeah. And we usually worry about tornadoes, severe thunderstorms during those times down there with hurricanes in my local area in Jacksonville, Florida. And mostly we get a lot of beach erosion out there too, knowing Richie. But when the storms come in, depends on that. That must have been kind of scary back then, but yeah. So I didn't know Lake City was flooded back then, but probably everything was just kind of went out of power and stuff like that. But yeah, at least where I was at here in Jackson, Florida, I think we made it through. Okay, we probably had lost the power before, but we made it okay during that time. With the 4 hurricanes at the state of Florida, they most stayed far away from us. Yeah, I remember watching the Weather Channel and also my local news jacks and stuff like that in my local area. And I saw all that stuff on TV either way, but wow, that was a lot of flooding back then I've seen on TV. But this is 3961 Jacksonville FL out here. And you're making a good audio trip out here to see. Even your modulation is sounding beautiful. 362 waving it on back all the way to Knoxville, Tennessee from 3961. Jacksonville, Florida. I'm just waving it on back. QSL sounded good out there, Richie tonight. 0 hours, 3 minutes, 37 seconds.
I'll let you know, yeah, you had another hurricane for the last 2 years. It happened every once a year. You know, they had the ones that hit close near Perry, Florida, a couple 100 miles away from you, about 90 miles to the west. And that area got hit twice. And you remember there's a one called the 1896 Cedar Key Hurricane. Look it up. It was a category 4, probably a 5 back then. It hit that island, and they relocate Cedar Key to a new island. That's what happened back in the history book. It's a true story. But Lake City used to be called Alligator Town back in the day, and it got named to Lake City. It was during that point. Yeah, you know the history about it, but I'm talking about the one that happened in, I think it was 2023 and 2024. That's when they had the 2 hurricanes that hit that state in 1 year. One happened the year before and the year after. And I only missed about 30 miles away from my old QTH where I used to live in North Florida. You know the one. It stayed over in Madison County and Taylor County, and it went to the north and went into Valdosta. So a lot of people got spared because they had a lot of squall lines. But the ice set over in that area in the middle of the woods and swamps. So that's what broke it up. And guess a lot of people got lucky because usually on the right part of the storms, usually tornadoes on that side in that area.
A362 Knoxville, Tennessee. I hear you out there. This is 3961. Jacksonville, Florida, Winnie Cooper. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about Hurricane Idalia and hit that area. Then it was Debbie. Then it was Hurricane Helene, as that one went through Taylor County up in that area to Perry, Florida into Madison. Yeah, you're talking about the eye was actually like 30 miles away, where your old QTH knowing you out there foxin'. Yeah, and that was probably the same storing system went up to eastern North Carolina that caused that major disaster of all that flooding in that area in the rivers and stuff. Yeah, I was pretty terrible. We got lucky, and it didn't hit our area. It stayed away from our area to the west view. But knowing you're Richie, yeah, it sounds like it came true. Like the 1896 when you're talking about the Cedar Key hurricane. Want to go back through the days like that, but I'm glad that storm didn't hit my area and Jackson. But I'm glad the good Lord did not send it to those areas out there, but it went through an area of a swamp and lots of pine trees. Yeah, I know you're Richie, but I'm going to miss my area. And I know you 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. Damn, I really miss my mom a lot, Richie. And did you know my mom passed away back a few years ago? But it's been kind of hard on me for a while. But yeah, I really miss my mom every single day. The day she passed away in the hospital, and she had to mention. And she passed away long back a few years ago, and I've been kind of very sad of it ever since. But it took me a long time. A very long time to figure out what happened to her. I'm waving on back to you from 3961 Winnie Cooper QSL.
Part 3, 0, 0519.
I saw that on that video a while back. I'm sorry what happened to your mother. She passed away a few years ago. I know what happened. Your sister told me all about it and stuff, but I'm sorry for what happened to you. You must have went through a lot. You know what I mean? I've been through a lot for the last couple of months, for a few years, but I'm sorry about your mama passed away, and I know exactly how you feel. And I can see everything inside you, what you felt like, you know what I mean? 362 Knoxville, Tennessee, waving on back to 3961 in Jacksonville, Florida. Hope everything's doing good down there tonight for you out there, for your family down there, especially your dad and your twin sister and your other friends down there. So I know it's probably kind of warm down there tonight, but it's been kind of hot here. It's been like 86 degrees. For the last few days, we've been in the upper 90s. It was 100 degrees. We had some rain the other day, little drizzles, but we're going to get a cool spell sometime by this week. It's going to be in the mid-60s at night, so we're going to get some relief from it. But, man, it's been hot all summer here in Tennessee. Been in a lot of heat waves and some thunderstorms. I'm sure you get a lot of thunderstorms down there, too. But in the wintertime, it's probably not that bad where you're at, like, compare out here. It's kind of different compared to what I used to live in Utah, you know what I mean? You've seen the stuff a while back I showed you about Utah. This is 362 Knoxville, Tennessee, waiting on back to 3961. Jacksonville, Florida.
How are you out there? 362. Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. I hear you loud and clear. Yeah, that's right. We've been having that dome for all the summer down in Florida. Yeah, it's been kind of hot down there. We've been getting thunderstorms in afternoon the last few weeks, but so far we haven't any hurricanes down here so far. But I know it's why humidity up there, where you're at. But it's much more humid down there where I'm at. But yes, and I hear you clear tonight. So, I've been watching some of your videos on YouTube. You've been quite busy for a while. But yeah, you have some great, beautiful CB radios out there tonight. But I know you out there, 362, Knoxville, TN. Knowing you, Mr. Foxman, and I'm sure I'm going to get into the CB radio hobby real soon and learn about the whole thing. I'm going to learn about from you. 362, knowing you, Mr. Foxman. Knowing you, Richie, you're sounding great tonight. But yeah, and I see out there on your videos like the Madison, that really is a beautiful radio. And I saw the Cobra 139 a while back, and your Quad 5. Top Gun Technology radio a while back. I seen a few of your videos a while back, and I've seen a few of your YouTube videos. And man, you've been doing a great job ever since you have 1,000 subscribers. Now that is so amazing, dude. That is so cool. This is 3961 Jacksonville FL from Winnie Cooper. I'm waving on back to the 362 Knoxville TNQS L0O 700. Yeah, 362. This is 3961 Jacksonville FL waving it on back to you, Richie. Yeah, that sounds quite cool. That is a big radio you got there. So, yeah, I'm talking on tonight, knowing you, 362 Knoxville, Tennessee money. Any tone at 5. 5, 5, 5. It's an export CB radio. I talk on, I had the basic stock radio. The antenna I'm using today, for me, for Winnie here in Jacksonville, Florida, I'm running a Striker AR 10 mag mount antenna. Also get a Wilson 1000 once a while when I usually run other vehicles. I run one of those Antron 99 radios on base station Cobra, 2000 GTL at my QTH, and I have a tower 35 feet tall. It has a big beam antenna, 3-element beam, by Mako, the Mako 103s, and yeah, this beam's been great. And also running an Intro 99. We just talked to you a while ago in the story. So, yeah, it's true. So, you sounded good tonight out there, Mr. Foxman. This is 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. We'll wave it on back from Winnie, QSL 0754 QSL, knowing your 362.
Mentioned 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. This is 362 Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm going to tell you what kind of radio I'm talking on tonight. Maybe you could tell me what your radio is going on. I'll figure out what kind of radio you're talking on. So I'm talking on a President Madison one. It was built in the 1970s, late 70s. It's only like 2 years or 3 years older than you. But I'm going to let you know, yes. And I'm running a 4-element beam called 4-element serial, about 22 feet off the ground on the mast. You've seen videos a while back when it ran the Cobra 139, the Grant. And I'm running a 2-pill called the Catalyst 150. The guy is UDX362 Catalyst. Look him up on YouTube when you get some time. He used to live in Gainesville, Florida several years ago, not far from the area, about maybe 100 miles away, 60 miles away. And he lived there for a long time until he moved to Delaware. But this guy built a lot of amplifier boxes for C radio. He's a pretty cool guy in Delaware. Check him out when you get some time. You might be interested to check out some of his boxes. Tell your friends and family if you want to get them for C radios. You may be able to buy a few of them from him, but he makes his own custom, even what they are. I hope your radio's doing good tonight, but yeah, and you've seen some of my videos a while back, and plus this is a D104 Hi-Fi modified kit microphone, which I bought the kit out in New York out of 2 Whiskey, I think it's from 2 Whiskey Echo November Yankee out of New York. You have to put it in here and do the instruction says, and that's what we're talking on tonight.
Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961 Jacksonville, Florida, waving on back. Yeah, that's pretty true. But yeah, my radio is doing quite good.
A lot of upgrades for your radio. I want you to get some good coax on you, 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. And I think you're talking on the Antron 99 down there, and you're saying you're on a different radio. I think you're on a especially I think you're on the 80-tone 1855 and 2, so that's like an 80-watt radio. So that's one of the news radios you can get out there on Amazon and other CB shop. It's a good radio once you start out with. I'm sure you did the 11 meter bod, like click the white wire and move the black pin over to that side where they show on videos, and you'll be able to learn how to do it. It's easy. So I'm sure you've done it, man. 3961 Jackson, Florida. You're sounding good tonight. I hope my modulation is making a trip. And you're hitting at least about 5x7, between 5x9 tonight. So how many pounds I'm hitting you down there tonight?
Good. Amazing for that. Any tone. AT5555 and 2, it's a beautiful orange tree. I've been making all kinds of cool contacts, and that is pretty cool, but this radio sounds amazing all the time. It's the one you had a while back. Your 3rd export rate? That's pretty cool, but yeah. And to the good version, it's a pretty nice radio. And I could talk all over the world if you don't have a problem. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So, knowing 362 Knoxville, Tennessee, this is 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. I'm weaving on back to you out there, and you have a great day out there. 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961. And knowing you out there, so this is 3961, Winnie Cooper out of Jacksonville, Florida. You hitting S5, S9. Don't forget, hit a like, subscribe, and stuff like that. This is 3961, Jacksonville, Florida. We got more videos coming out soon this week. So I'll leave it on. Back to 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961. We're waving on back and went to all of you out there. This is 3961, Jacksonville, Florida. My operator name, Winnie. This is 3961 out of Jacksonville, Florida. So, QSL. Part 4, 01024.
3961 Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. KSL. Yeah, I'm just saying, all right, I'm doing pretty good, at least about 5 by 8, 5 by 9, but I'm sorry slamming harder down there where you're at. So yeah, I hope you're actually, you'll probably be hearing me down at the old school down there, you know what I mean? We used to play on the swing set together a long time
360.
ago. And you know, in our classroom, we used to do all the little cool trip things, like the field trips, stuff like that. You did all them cool drawings. You used to comb my hair, play with, when you did those markers drawing my arm, you wash them off. You remember that? And you had that cool boombox party. You remember that used to do? I'm sorry, Miss, our teacher unplugged your boombox, and I felt sorry what happened to you. You know that back then? You were feeling your expression about yourself and your creativity. You were lighting up the world back then. Oh, yeah. You know, we were like on the second storage of the first storage of at our old school. I think it were 2 stories, but we went up that cool stairs there once, and we had some fun sliding downstairs. And I'm telling you, yeah, you know, like every morning they used to play the song on TV and stuff like that. Then everybody did the work and stuff. And plus, you know, at one time had that guy run that diver mask with the little thing, and I kept playing with it, and I made everything went off, and that was pretty hilarious. And he used to play me on the Apple II computer. You know, he sat on my lap and looked at me every day. And we played Oregon Trail. Otter Lake was a fair one. Number Munchies, Word Munchies. And you can still play those on the internet. You can find them on the internet from emulators. You can get them and play online. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And we used to play a lot of great things back then. You remember back then. And I'm telling you, I never forget that. It was just like the day yesterday before I went to that Hurricane Andrew zone. You know, I went through Hurricane Andrew a long time ago. That horrible monster storm wrecked my life completely in a way, you know what I mean? But I hope you're doing good down there tonight, and I hope you're getting through the hard times down there, you know what I mean?
2, Knoxville, Tennessee, 3961, Winnie Cooper out of Jacksonville, Florida. I'm waving on back to you. Yes, I do remember all that stuff very well. Knowing Richie, yes, we did play on the swing many times a long time ago back then at our old school. Yeah, I know what you mean about that. There were some great times back then. Yes, it's true. And we had a lot of fun doing kickball and stuff like that. But yeah, knowing our teacher unplugged my boombox. Yeah, I play Cover Me Bad back that time when I brought my cassette tape to school and play with all my friends, especially them in the classroom. And you were dancing too. I was dancing too. It was pretty funny. It was hilarious. And I know it was a nasty song back then. It was pretty funny as crap. And who cares what the teacher unplugged my boombox? I know she was a totally jerk to me too. Knowing Richie, you're so right. You're so right by everything. Yes, it's true. But knowing you're Richie, knowing you, 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. That was some great times back then. And I did remember washing your markers off your arms, stuff like that, very well back then. Comb your hair and all that stuff. And we play kickball out there in the playground, stuff like that. We had a great time and playing on the basketball courts too. Yes, and we had that dirt track that ran around circles and stuff out in the area in our school. And you know how we are. It's pretty funny today's world. It's crap. But yeah, and I remember that school field trip we went on to the Navy base in Mayport. Yeah, we've done all that too. And so I should go into the Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra, and they used to exist back then. Yeah, we did a lot of things back then. Yes, we did a lot of art drawings. You were drawing Bart Simpson and stuff like that, and we do a lot of drawings out there between me and my twin sister. you know, who she's out there today. But yeah, we did play in Apple IIs and all this stuff, and we sat there, watched TVs. They had our movie days on some of those days on Fridays, and I remember that quite well. The ones with the magnets, we were never back then. And teacher used to explain a lot of things, but back in school, yeah. And boy, I wouldn't trade those days for nothing, knowing you, sweetie. And I know today's world is not looking so good these days. It's not like it used to be like today in the 1990s. But back in the 90s, everything was so perfect. Everything was so bright, everything was so good, and we had some great buys back then. I know you're Richie, you're a good person. Knowing you're 362 Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. We've been knowing each other for a long time back many years ago, back in school. So I'm going to wave it on back to you. 362 Knoxville, Tennessee on your audio. Sounding perfect? Isabel, tonight I can hear you all the way down there in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm traveling out there on the roadway right now. But I'm heading back to my QTH soon, so I'm going to be on the base station soon. I don't know, but I'm in the mobile right now. But I'm traveling eastbound on Atlantic Boulevard by hitting that way. I'm going to be heading over to Mayport a little bit soon and head back home the other way around, so I'll still talk to you on the radio. We're going to still talk through no matter what. This is 3961. Winnie Cooper out of Jacksonville, Florida. 362 Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm waving on back to you. Knowing Richie, and this is 3961. Winnie Cooper, we are QSL. Bring it on back, Richie. Part 5, 01445.
Three 961. So I'm glad we had this talk. Maybe we'll talk more again later on. But I hope your radio's working good. You might have to learn from some things from me. I'll teach you how how it works. But make sure you get that RG58 cable. But if you're gonna put it on the Antron 99 or something else, get a Mako B5000 later on and upgrade one of my antennas like the Serial 4 on the beam. You'll get very good. I have lots of videos out there you can watch on YouTube, or other people will teach you how to do it. But especially if you're going to do the Antron 99 thing, it's very easy to do. And you did all that little ring thing when it adjusts the SWR, and use the Nano BA that shows it on the screen. You don't have to transmit. You can look through it on the Nano BA with the Antron 99. And you just adjust the rings to get the SWR a lot lower. That's how it works. For the Mako B5000, you can just have to slide the rods at a certain measurement for 27 megahertz. It'll tell you on the instructions how to do it. And plus on the internet, they'll show you how to do it. For Mower Junkie, will show you how to do it, and some other ones. Go look at some of my videos of the Mako B5000, how it works. So just type in Foxman 362 Warrior on YouTube, Mako V5000, you'll find all my videos, or UDX362 Mako V5000. But the Mower Junkie will show you how to do it, and you get those little rod thing, the ground plane things you have to put at that certain measure to get what he wants. He likes the same channel like me. So you got to get into the center channel on channel 20 to get the SW lower on both sides, like channel 1 and channel 40. If you're going to go for the big sideband stuff, or you're going to go for 37, 38, and 36, get it a lot lower on that side and get it down at least 1.0, 1.2, or either way, and you'll be okay. If you anything around 1.5, you're all right. But anything below 1.5, you're okay. But not above 1.5, so you'll be okay. And that's for the SWRs. That's standard ratio. You know what I'm saying? And plus, this is we're talking on sideband tonight, slower sideband, and you can do everything on AM. So the way you got to transmit your SWRs on like export radio, just go to AM and look at it. That's how you usually know the SWR, not on sideband. So when you get your Nano BA, it doesn't matter as long as it's on AM or either way, it'll still be fine. The Nano BA will tell you what the antenna looks like in the SWR on the channel, like 27.375 lower sideband. But on there, just type in 27.375, you'll be okay. And you go down to channel 40, it's around 26. And no, the channel 40 is actually 27.405 megahertz. It's on lower sideband AM, but it doesn't matter either way. If it's on AM, you'll be able to see your SWR is a little bit lower. And also channel 1 is 26, I think it's 995 or something like that, or 965. I don't know what it is, but you'll be able to figure it out. And the way you got to do it on the Nano BA, just type in 26 megahertz all the way to 28 megahertz. So don't go up to 28 megahertz. So you'll be all right. All right, I'm gonna let you go. 3961 Jacksonville, Florida. Have a great day. Have a good one, Winnie Cooper. This is 362 Knoxville, Tennessee. We are 73. We are QRT. Have a great night. And I heard a guy just came on the radio, so I'm going to let this channel go and let it rock and roll. And your video will be on YouTube sometime today or tomorrow when I work on this. And you're going to love it. So have a great day out there. Have a great evening. 362 Knoxville, Tennessee. We're 73. We're standing by. We are QRT. And we'll talk again soon. Have a great day out there. And have a wonderful day out there knowing you. Knowing you out there. 362 Knoxville, Tennessee, 73. We'll catch you later. We are QRT. Standing by.
A362 Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, that's correct. I'll go look that up. Know what I mean? This is 3961. Jacksonville, Florida. Will waving. But you're sounding good tonight. But yeah, I'll go look all that stuff on YouTube for you did to learn the CB radio hobby. But yeah, that sounds like, your stuff out there knowing you're Richie. But yeah, I'll probably get my own beam real soon and my Antron 99, and I really working so good on. But we have one right now on the Anytone at 5555 N2. We're definitely working tonight on the radio tonight. So I'm in the mobile right now. So going to be heading back to the base station. So we'll be able to hear me out there soon. But so yeah, your audio is making the trip out here. I'm traveling in Jacksonville, Florida on the roadways. Yes. And plus, you're making it all the way out to Mayport tonight. Yes, you are. You're sounding good out there on the east coast of Jacksonville on the beaches. But man, I give you all over Jacksonville tonight, Richie. Knowing you, Mr. Foxman, knowing 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. But you're very loud tonight. But yeah, some of you've been here about 9 pounds. Good modulation down there tonight, but I want to let you know you, sweetie? You're doing great out there on the radio. Knowing you're Richie, I'm very proud of you. Knowing you, sweetie. 362. I waving on back to you out there from 3961. Over in Jacksonville, Florida, we're in the Florida beach zones on the Intercoastal Way. We're out there tonight knowing you. Richie 362, Knoxville, Tennessee, 3961. Jacksonville, Florida. We are in the Sunshine State. We are waving on back in the beautiful sunshine in the warm breeze of Florida tonight. You have a good night out there. Richie. Knowing you 362, Knoxville, Tennessee. This is 3961, Winnie Cooper, Jacksonville, Florida. You have a good one out there, and I'll catch you later out there. We are 73. We are QRT, and we're standing by. Have a good night out there. Richie, thanks for talking to me out there. We haven't heard for a long time. Talking each other out there. We'll talk again on the CB radio soon. Have a good 73. We are QRT. Have a wonderful day. We'll catch you later off the key.